I'm going to share the screen. Okay. I asked you to work on this yesterday so we can start developing our writing skills, especially in relation to doing the abstracts. Actually, you're doing two activities here, developing two activities. One, which is the reading activity to grasp what is the real information that you need to get and how you put that information in writing. So we are developing both skills at the same time. We're going to start today by answering the multiple choices first, and then we'll move on. I think I'm catching a cold. Mariana Alfaro, are you here? Let's see how many people we got. Only 11. It's too cold. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I told you yesterday that we were 21 in the group, but now we're only 20 because one of the students moved out of this class. So we're only 20, so we're even Steven. So you can only have a partner. There is not going to be groups of 3, only pairs, please. So get organized, find your pairs to continue working for the rest of the semester. Did you understand? Felipe, did you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So look for a partner. I had emails yesterday from 2 groups asking to be triplets, but no, you have to work in pairs, please. Now we're even. Okay, is Mariana Alfaro here? Mariana, no? Who's here? Oh, Camila, you're here. Felipe Riquelme, please start reading.
Erik Erikson believed that personality development is a series of turning points, which he described in terms of the tension between desirable qualities and dangers. He emphasized that only when the positive qualities outweigh the danger does healthy psychological development take place.
Psychosocial.
Pardon.
It's all right. Don't worry. We're learning.
Continue.
Continue, please.
An important turning point occurs around age 6. A child entering school is at a point in development when behavior is dominated by intellectual curiosity and performance. He or she now learns to win recognition by producing things. The child develops a sense of industry. The danger at this stage is that the child will experience feelings of inadequacy or inferiority. If the child is encouraged to make and do things, allowed to finish tasks, and praised for trying, a sense of industry is the result. On the other hand, if the child's efforts are unsuccessful, or if they are criticized or threatened as bothers, a sense of inferiority is the result. For this reason, Erikson called the period from age 6 to 11 industry versus inferiority.
Okay, Sebastian, mute your phone, your mic, please. There, I muted. Okay, so let's see, what did you write for answer number 1? So according to Erickson's theory, what desirable quality should develop in a child who is 6 to 11 years old?
C.
No.
B.
B as in boy? No. It says
C.
desirable quality should develop. What is the desirable quality?
Letter D.
It is, yes. Number 2, it says, according to Erickson's theory, what will happen if a child's efforts are criticized?
D.
D.
D also, yes. Industry versus inferiority is an example of what?
A.
Yes, A. It is A. Good. Okay, let's go back to the text. I know you have sent me, but I told you that we were going to check it here in class. You have sent me this activity. But let's see it together, because if we see it together, you're going to start focusing on the important aspects of the work. What is important here? What are the points that are important?
The different personality that a child can develop.
Okay, and what are those?
A sense
The child-
of industry or inferiority.
Inferiority. And what do they consist of?
The boy can learn to win recognition by producing things, or the opposite, can take a insecure behavior.
Okay, so in the sense of industry is when the child feels appreciated or recognized for the things he or she does. The opposite is when the child is not considered, not appreciated, so he feels inferior because whatever he does is not appreciated. Who proposes this theory?
Erickson.
Erik Erikson. So we have 3 things that are important. We're missing one more.
The age. That is.
Very good, the age. So those things, the rest is decoration. Okay, so look at the writings you did and see if you have this. I'm going to show you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Can you see the PPT?
No.
No.
No. Okay, you share them. My PPT. Can you see it now?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, here we go. This is the activity, this is what I ask you to do, and this is what you should do for next time. Let me see. This is the text, that's what I ask you to do. And this is the abstract. So according to Erik Erikson, person, right? I have to give him the credit. He's the one who created the theory. A person, because we're talking about boys and girls, so I have to be neutral, a person achieves a healthy psychological development when positive qualities. Remember when I told you before we went on strike, when you put in between dashes or between commas or in parentheses an explanation of something? Well, this is the positive. A sense of industry. So I'm explaining what is positive quality, sense of industry, the appreciation of achievement. What happens to this? Surpasses dangers. That's the theory, right? Again, a positive, the sense of failure or lack of appreciation. Both industry and dangers, both start at early school age. So I'm not copying exactly what it says. I understand that. What is the school age? So between 6 and 11, right? So there you have that one. Let me stop sharing. Let's go to the next one. Did you understand it?
Yes, Miss, but I do not get why it is used the word industry for a boy or a girl.
Well, that's the language that Erickson, we cannot change the theory because that is the proper name that the author gave to this stage and this quality, the sense of industry, of creating, I assume. If you create, if you do things, probably in that sense, he gave that name. But when you're abstracting the information, those names that are given to a particular, in this case, to a particular theory, you cannot change it. But you can explain it, right? Okay, let's continue with the text. Where was I? I think it was this one. Let's go with the second part. Who wants to read?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
In the storytelling tradition of West Africa, the tiny rabbit appears frequently as a rascal who teases or plays jokes on bigger animals. In one story, Mr. Rabbit tricks Mr. Elephant and Mrs. Whale, Mrs. Whale into a tug of war with each other. Such tales about Mr. Rabbit continue to be part of the oral traditions of the Wolof people of Senegal. The African American folk tales of the U.S. South also feature a trickster rabbit.
Feature.
Trickster.
No, also feature.
Also feature a trickster rabbit in the character of Brer Rabbit. In his American incarnation, Brer Rabbit uses his wit to overcome circumstances and even to enact playful revenge on his larger, stronger adversaries, Brer Fox, Brer Wolf, and Brer Bear. Although he is not always successful, Brer Rabbit's efforts make him both a folk hero and a friendly comic figure.
Figure.
Joel Chandler Harris, a journalist in Georgia, had heard old men tell Brer Rabbit tales by the fireside when he was a young boy. Harris wrote down and published many of the stories, popularizing them for the general public. A folklorist named Alki Fortier recorded very similar versions of the same stories in southern Louisiana, where the rabbit character was known as Compère Lapin in Creole French. Today, the rabbit enjoys another incarnation as the cartoon character Bugs Bunny, a rascally rabbit who causes trouble, tricks the hunter, and always gets the final word.
Okay. What's important? for everybody before we go into answering the multiple choices?
Mm,
The
there are
character,
three.
Mr. Rabbit, in storytelling in different parts of the world.
Okay. And one more thing.
The rabbit uses its ingenious to overcome situations and more strong animals, and that.
Okay. So our main character here is the rabbit. Okay. Rabbit used in what? What is the character? In tails, right? According to the text, what is the characteristic of these tails?
They are folk tales.
They are folk tales. But after a while, they became in what? What happened to these folk tales?
Mm,
They become a cartoon.
Right. In the latest time, it became a cartoon. Before that, it was published, right? So from being a word of mouth sort of tales, because they were not written, it was word of mouth, right? Then they were published, and then they were made into cartoons. So the characteristics of this rabbit in one word, because if you notice, this writer, he uses a lot of examples to depict the rabbit. So he uses the examples in West Africa, where the folk tales started, then the United States. And how can we put all those examples in one particular word?
rascal.
Rascal. Any other word? But it is
Trickster.
used. Trickster. Okay. Any
A
other?
sharp wit.
Yeah, but you may be a sharp wit, but you may not be a rascal.
Mm,
Okay, so if you notice, if we understand the text and we put all these examples here on how the rabbit behaves in the folk tales, we can summarize it in one or two words to make the reader, the person that is going to read our writing, understand the characteristics of this character. Let's see the answers to the question. What trait belongs to the rabbit character in Tales of West African Origin?
would be option C.
All right, good. Let's go with 5. How did a wide audience of people know about the Brer Rabbit stories?
B.
Try again.
Oh, C.
Yes, better. Much better. Number 6. It says, what do Brer Rabbit, Compel the Pun, and Bugs Bunny have in common?
B.
B.
Yeah. In all the stories, wherever they come from, the story is the same. Is the rabbit playing tricks on other animals. I'm going to share again, and let's go to the PPT. It's here, right? That's the one, no, it's this one. There. Let's go to the second text. Move here. Just a second. Here's the folk tales. Look at all the text the author uses, and look when we abstract the information. So folk tales characterized by a teasing rabbit that plays tricks on other animals have been used as a word of mouth in West Africa and the United States. Some of them have been published and others turned into cartoons. That's it. Was that close to what you wrote? Remember that when you're writing, you cannot copy the examples provided by the original author. You can summarize the examples if you want to clarify something. But some things are so obvious that you don't need to go further on that information. So we're saying here that is coming from word of mouth. You know the expression "wum," right? Word of mouth in West Africa and the United States. Those are the two places that are mentioned. Okay, let's go back. Sharing again, let's go with the next text. Hotspots. Who wants to read? The first two paragraphs. Who wants to read the first two paragraphs? Okay. Camila,
Do you hear me? Yes?
are you going to read?
Yes.
Okay.
A hotspot is a giant
Giant.
underground cauldron of molten rock in one of the world's many volcanically active areas. The steamy geysers, geysers, thermal pools, and mud pots of Yellowstone National Park owe their origins to hotspots. Annually, more than 200
annually.
Annually, more than 200 geysers erupt in Yellowstone, making this one of the most interesting places in the world geologists. I'm sorry. Over 100 geysers lie within the upper geyser basin on 1 square mile area near Old Faithful, the most famous geyser in the world. The Yellowstone hotspot was created around 10 million years ago, and the center of the park is still volcanically active, with molten rock only a mile or two beneath of Earth's surface.
Yeah, thank you, Camila. Somebody else?
Very difficult. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Somebody else for reading so we can practice? Should I name?
I can do it, miss.
Okay, but let's give a chance to somebody else, Sebastian, so I can...
That's the same I thought, but my companions are...
Your partners. Let's see, who do I have here at site? Jorge Barraza. Read Jorge.
When When rain and melted snow seep down, draw tiny cracks in the earth.
Tiny, tiny cracks.
Tiny cracks in the earth. The water eventually reach underground chamber of lava. Reaches underground chamber of lava. ¿Cómo se dice? Lava. Heated rock. The rock hits the water and the boiling water and steam often make their way back up to the surface in the form of a geyser, a thermal pool, or a mud spot. In a geyser, water trapped in an underground chamber heats up beyond the boiling point and form steam. Steam takes up 1,500 times more space than water. Pressure builds up, eventually forcing the superheated water to burst to the surface as a geyser. A thermal pool is formed when the water from the hot spot reaches the surface before cooling off. If the water does not make it all the way to the surface, steam and gases may dissolve rocks and form a bubbling mud pot instead.
Okay, good. Okay, let's go to the multiple choices and then we focus on the abstract. Where do hot spots occur?
B.
Who said it? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
B. Rivera.
Yes, B. 8. According to the passage, why is Yellowstone National Park an interesting place for geologists?
B.
Okay. Number 9. How do hotspots contribute to the formation, of geysers? Which one?
D.
C.
It is C. Yes. Number 10 says, when do mud pots form?
Letter A.
Yes. Okay. What's important in this big text?
It is a I lost the word. Scientific text.
Okay. And what is the main information in this text?
Geysers.
Only?
The morphology beneath the earth and how the geysers are formed.
But is it only geysers?
The volcanically active.
Okay, that's part of it.
And mud pots.
Okay, so what is a single word for that?
Hotspot.
Hotspot. So hotspots are divided into 3, right? The geysers, thermal pool, and the mud pots. Is Yellowstone important? What do you think? In order to explain what the hotspots are, do we need the information of the Yellowstone?
No necessarily.
No, we don't. Do we need the information of the geologist?
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. It's just a decoration, right? So why is it attractive to the geologist? But we don't need it in order to explain the hotspots, because the information here is the explanation of the hotspots and what the hotspots form. They form geysers, thermal pools, and mud pots. But how are geysers formed? How are the hotspots in common? In common, what is the information that tells me that the hot spots are formed?
The process when the water falls to the underground lava.
Right, to the lava chambers, right? So when the water reaches the lava chamber, forms different forms of hot spots, right? So we say that the geysers is formed with the pressure of what?
Steam.
The steam. The thermal pools is with what?
When the steam doesn't go out through the surface.
Okay, but this one goes to the surface because these are thermal pools. This is hot water where people go for the springs, right? And this is, right, when the water doesn't reach the surface and it forms mud. That's it. Do we need anything else from this information? Okay, let me share and see how it looks. Do you see it? Do you see this, the PPT?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, I'm losing my mouse. Come on, mouse. I just want to get there. Here. The other one. There. Look at this. The water that reaches the lava chambers heats up, and the steam it produces pressures. Oh, oh, sorry. There. It's this one. So it's way up. So it says it produces pressures. It's way up to the surface to manifest itself in the form of geysers, steam, thermal pools, ponds of hot water, and mud pots, warm pools of bubbling mud. And that's it. The rest is the decoration of the writer. But the actual information I need is how are the hot pots formed, right? Did you get the idea? Was it similar to what you wrote? Was it?
Can you repeat the question, Miss?
Was it similar to what you wrote in your homework? Are you understanding how to extract the information?
The third paragraph was the more difficult.
Because it had a lot of information, so that whole bunch of decoration in the information is distracting. So when you're focusing on what is the real information that you need, you reduce it a lot. And you have to avoid using similar words as the author, otherwise it turns into a mere copy. Okay? Now, I have left on the virtual room another similar type of exercise. The exercises are going to get longer and longer because the reading is going to be extending. So far, we're only doing small texts, but the texts are going to be increasing. So you're going to find on the virtual room another text and you're going to do the same thing. I'm not going to see you until next week, right? So for
Right.
Tuesday, work with your partner, and this time send it to my email, okay? But work in PowerPoint is similar as I did it with you. So I can put it, if you're not going to work on PPT, divide the word into two, where you put the text and you put the paragraph. It makes it easier, so I don't have to go back and forth, so it saves me time. So to correct it, and I can have the correction on time for the class, so I can go over with you. And the idea is, when you're writing, try to take points. This is the topic of the overall. What does it say about that topic? What is the information that is relevant in relation to that topic? All the examples is to clarify an idea. But in order to clarify that idea, maybe you can reduce it to one word or two in order to make the reader understand what you're saying, because what you're doing when you're presenting an abstract, you are just focusing on what is the real important information. That's what you're doing. When you start writing your essays, then you're going to the opposite side, same as the writers. You're going to decorate and provide a lot of examples to make the reader understand what you're writing, okay? But in this moment, we're on the opposite side. We're extracting the vital information that we need, okay? Did you understand this exercise?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Miss.
Yes.
Okay, so now it's your turn. Do it again. Check on what you did before. And when you check that information, right, see what you did extra. Okay, compare to what I did. I'm going to send you my PPT to the virtual room so you can start comparing, because you're going to see it better than if you see the video. So you can start comparing. Where did the teacher get the information? What were the words she used that were different from the other or similar to the other? Here we need to develop vocabulary. So you have to look for synonyms, words that are similar, that would convey or transmit the same information. All right? So that's your homework. It's not that long. It's about three more texts that are not very long for now, but the texts are going to get longer and longer. All right? Okay, guys, that's it for today. Any questions? No?
Miss,
Yes?
I have made a new couple with a companion because I was in a group of 3.
Yeah, but you cannot be 3 anymore.
Yes, I get it. So I will send you what I did yesterday and the activity that is for the next class.
Okay, bye.
With my new companion.
Okay, for the activity of yesterday, that was a practice. Okay, so you don't have to send it to me because I'm going to send you what we saw today. What I do want you to send me is the activity for next week. Okay, that's text number 4. So you're going to see it on the virtual room, text number 4. I'm going to send you the one I did so you can compare what you did and realize what you put extra that wasn't important for the information. All right?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Bye, Miss. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye. Bye, honey.